last moments never tell you that they're last. They come disguised as ordinary, moving fast.
A smile, a meal, a kiss beside the door.
You only know it's over
when there's nothing more. They hide inside the smallest things we do.
A hand that holds a second longer than it knew.
A voice that says goodnight, a little slow. The tiny signs we never read below.
Last moments, they live louder than the first.
Last moments,
The blessing and the curse.
we never know. The last time is the last, until the present turns into the past.
I held her coat and didn't know the weight.
I poured the wine and didn't know the date.
I closed my eyes and didn't hear the end.
A man who lost his lover and his friend.
I said goodbye like I had said before.
100 times beside the same old door.
But this goodbye
Had something in its bones, a finality disguised in normal tones.
If we could mark the last of everything we shared,
we'd hold it tighter, longer, with more care.
last moments, the ones we didn't know,
Last moments,
the ones that hurt us so.
if someone told us this would be the end, we'd live that moment over and again.
Last moments,
Wherever you may be, the saddest story waiting to be free.
the last time that she smiled at me was June, a Tuesday morning underneath the moon. She stood beside the car with bags in hand and smiled like everything was going as planned.
He didn't know that smile was my goodbye, the kind you wear when you're too proud to cry. I held it steady till the corner turned, then let the whole thing fall like something burned.
That smile,
It haunts me more than any tear.
that smile,
The cruelest mask I've worn this year.
she looked at me like nothing was the end.
like a fool again.
I replay it nightly in the dark, the way her lips curved up beside the park. It looked like love, it tasted like the truth, but it was just the wrapping on the proof.
I practiced it for weeks before the day, a smile that says I'm fine, I'm on my way. The hardest thing I've done is not believe. It's smiling at the man I still believe.
That smile,
I'd give the world to see it real.
that smile,
The wound that time cannot heal.
she smiled and I mistook it for a stay.
But it was just her beautiful way of walking away.
That smile,
The last thing I remember clear, the saddest sunshine of my saddest year. I cooked his favorite lamb with rosemary, the table set with candles, 2 or 3. He didn't know this dinner had a name, a final meal before I end the game.
she wore the dress I bought her in the fall, the red one that she saves for something tall.
Wine was open, bread was freshly made. I should have known a woman doesn't dress for be afraid. One last dinner, the plates are almost clean. One last dinner, the saddest in between. We talked of nothing like we always do, but every bite was tasting like the truth.
I watched him eat and memorized his jaw,
The way he chews the bread without a flaw.
I wanted to remember every move
Before the morning takes away the groove.
she poured the second glass and held my hand.
I didn't know her fingers held a plan.
She squeezed them once like closing up a book.
Maybe one last tender breaking. One last dinner, the candles burning low. One last dinner, she's getting set to go. The dishes soaking in the kitchen sink are all that's left of us, I start to think. One last dinner, the meal I'll taste for years, a plate of love seasoned with quiet tears.
She kissed me at the door like every night, but something in the pressure wasn't right. It lasted half a second more than should. A woman saying everything she could.
I kissed him like I'm sealing up a jar, a glass of us I'm placing on the bar. I pressed my lips like printing on a page, the final sentence of a final stage.
Goodbye kiss, it tasted like the end.
Goodbye kiss,
The lips of a departing friend.
it wasn't passion, and it wasn't sweet.
It was a woman
Laying down defeat.
I didn't know until I locked the door that kiss was heavier than all before. I touched my mouth and felt the weight of gone. The man still standing in the lights left on.
I walked into the night and touched my lips, the taste of him still burning at the tips. That kiss was meant to hold 1,000 things, a lifetime folded into closing wings.
Goodbye kiss, the softest way to leave.
Goodbye kiss, the last trick up my sleeve.
No suitcase and no letter on the shelf.
Just one last kiss, explaining for itself. Goodbye kiss,
I feel it even now.
the only lips that taught me why and how. The street feels wider now without your arm. The distance from the corner to the farm of streetlights seems to double every block. A woman and her shadow and her clock.
She used to lean her head against his coat and count the steps like reading him a note.
But now the steps are hers and hers alone. a rhythm made of silence and of stone. Walking alone, the longest road I know. Walking alone, with nowhere left to go. The pavement knows the shape of both our feet, but tonight it only hears my own repeat. I passed the bakery where you'd always stop, and by the row with sugar on the top. The light is on, but I just walk on by. A woman learning how to not ask why.
She reaches for a hand that isn't there.
A phantom touch still floating in the air.
Her fingers close on nothing every time.
The emptiest of gestures, yours and mine. Walking alone, the night is getting cold. Walking alone, the story's getting old. I used to have a reason for this road, but now it's just a woman and her load. Walking alone, I'll make it to the door. The loneliest commute forevermore.
There were words I kept inside a chest, a locked up sentence dressed in Sunday best.
I meant to say them at the dinner table, but the wine ran out before my heart was able.
He had a way of almost saying things.
His mouth would open like a pair of wings,
then close again before the sound could land.
a man forever reaching for my hand. The words I kept are louder than the ones I said. The words I kept are sleeping in my bed. I kept them safe, I kept them warm and fed. But keeping words alive won't raise the dead.
I should have said you're everything I need.
Instead I talked about the garden seed.
I should have said don't go, you are my life.
Instead I passed the bread and cleaned the knife. He kept the biggest words inside the small,
And hid his love behind the kitchen wall.
a man who spoke of weather, work and time,
but never spoke the only word that's mine.
The words I kept, I carry them like stone. The words I kept, the heaviest I've known. I had the chance beyond the gate. He asked me for a dance inside the hall. The room was empty, just the moon and wall.
No music playing,
Nothing on the air, but he held out his hand like something's there.
she took my hand the way she always did.
Her fingers light and careful like a lid.
We swayed without a melody to guide.
Just two hearts counting, 1, 2, 3 inside. Our last waltz, no music but the floor. Our last waltz, we didn't need the score. We danced around the kitchen in the dark. Two people spinning toward their final mark. He held me closer than he had in years.
His chin upon my head,
I felt his tears.
they fell like rhythm,
Steady, warm and true.
the only music
Left between us two.
She hummed a tune,
I couldn't recognize,
a melody.
invented for goodbyes.
I followed every note
She breathed and gave. A man who learned to waltz inside his grave. Our last waltz, the floor remembers still. Our last waltz against the windowsill.
no orchestra,
No band, no chandelier, just two people holding what was dear. Our last waltz,
I dance it every night.
the only step I ever got just right.
Your side of the closet is still half full.
3 dresses and a coat,
Made out of wool.
the hangers in between,
Are keeping space.
like soldiers guarding an abandoned place.
He opens it each morning out of force,
And stares at what's become his only course.
my summer blouse still hanging to the right.
The one I wore the last warm August night.
Your side of the closet
Won't let go.
Your side of the closet
runs the show.
The empty hangers
Rattle in the dark,
like bones of something left
inside the ark.
I moved my shirts to fill the gap last week,
but by the morning
they had moved to speak back to my side, like magnets know their place.
your half belongs to you and all your grace. He keeps my perfume bottle on the shelf.
A woman trapped inside
A glass of self
He sprays it once a month
into the air
and
breathes the only ghost that's living there. Your side of the closet, I'll defend it still.
your side of the closet,
My impossible hill.
the fabric's fading,
And the moths have come,
but I would rather lose
the war than run. Your side of the closet, half a life on wood.
the saddest wardrobe
In the neighborhood. I tore it down the middle in a rage. Your face on one side, mine upon the stage.
The sound it made was louder than a scream.
A photograph ripped open at the seam.
She called him up at midnight, said it's done.
I found your letters underneath the sun.
But what she didn't say through all the noise
Was how she taped the photo back like toys. The photo I tore still lives in two. The photo I tore, you're half and through.
I've tried to match the edges
Back in line, but torn up love won't ever realign. The tape runs through your forehead like a scar, a crooked line between us, near and far.
Your smile is split, my eyes are half away.
Two people torn apart on the same day.
She keeps it in the drawer beside the rings.
A broken picture held by broken strings.
She takes it out all night, she can't pretend,
And traces where the ripping starts to bend. The photo I tore, the cruelest thing I've done. The photo I tore beneath the angry sun.
I ripped us both in half
To prove a point, but all I proved is love won't disappoint. The photo I tore, still taped and barely whole, the only portrait left of half a soul.
We made a promise at the stroke of 12, a whispered deal we carved into ourselves.
You said forever, and I said the same. Two liars playing at the truest game.
He held my pinky like a child would do,
and swore to God and every star in view.
I knew the morning would undo the vow,
but midnight makes you brave enough somehow. Midnight promise,
the kind that fades by dawn.
midnight promise, already almost gone.
We meant it in the dark, we meant it then, but daylight turns the bravest
Back to men.
I promised her I'd never let her cry.
She promised me she'd never say goodbye.
We sealed it with a kiss beside the clock.
Two people building castles on a rock. The morning came and neither one could speak. The promise sat between us, thin and weak.
He looked at me and I could see the crack.
A man already taking half of it back. Midnight promise,
The sweetest kind of lie,
midnight promise,
too beautiful to die.
we knew the words would melt before the sun,
But saying them was better than having none.
midnight promise,
I'd make it all again.
the only honest thing between dishonest men. The sky is turning from the black to blue. The last few hours I will spend with you. I'm counting every breath you take in bed, and memorizing everything you've said.
She thinks I'm sleeping, but I feel her stare, her fingers tracing circles in my hair.
I keep my eyes shut tight to hold the night, because the morning is the cruelest light. Before dawn, we still belong to this. Before dawn, we still exist in bliss. The clock is ticking toward the end of us, but in the dark, we're everything we was. Your suitcase packed and leaning by the wall, the taxi booked for 7 down the hall.
But right now in this bed the world is small, and I am yours before the final call.
But dawn won't listen to a desperate man. It comes regardless of the lover's plan. Before dawn, the last of what we share. Before dawn, your scent is in the air. The birds are starting and the light creeps through, and every shade of morning looks like you. Before dawn, I hold you one last time. The saddest sunrise at the end of mine.
I left the key beside the morning cup, a silver piece of us I'm giving up. It sat there quiet on the kitchen wood, the smallest thing that held the neighborhood.
I found it when the coffee had gone cold. A little metal heavier than gold. He didn't slam the door or make a scene. He just left the key where we had been.
The key I left unlocks a door I can't go through. The key I left still has the shape of me and you. I carried it for 7 years inside my coat,
The heaviest thing a man has ever wrote.
that key has seen the midnight and the dawn, the fumbling in the dark, the jacket on.
It knew the sound of coming home to her, the click that meant the world was just a blur.
I held it to the light and saw the wear. The grooves rubbed smooth from all the years of care.
The key that opened more than just the door. It opened every evening, every more.
The key I left is lying on the wood.
The key I left
where everything once stood.
no letter and no speech could say it clear, the way a single key says I'm not here.
The key I left,
the quietest goodbye, a lock that has no reason left to try. Your pillow still has the dent where you would sleep, a valley in the cotton, soft and deep. I press my hand inside it every night and feel the shape of someone holding tight. It smells like nothing now, the months have passed, but I remember when the scent would last. Your shampoo mixed with something only yours, a fragrance that could open all the doors. Your pillow, I hold it like a chest. Your pillow, the closest I can rest to something that remembers where you'd lay, a cotton monument to yesterday. I flipped it, washed it, dried it in the sun, but still I place it back when day is done. Right there beside me on the empty side, a soft replacement for the man who died. My friend says buy a new one, start again. I said this one still knows the shape of men. She didn't understand, she couldn't see. This pillow is the last of you and me. Your pillow, it's wearing thin and flat. Your pillow, I'm making peace with that. The feathers slowly leaving one by one, like memories dissolving in the sun. Your pillow, I'll hold it till it's air, the last soft thing that proves you once were there.
The seat beside me has a buckle mark from all the times you clicked it in the dark. I drive the same road every single night, but the passenger side has lost its light. You used to rest your feet upon the dash and sing along to everything like trash. The windshield held your fingerprints for weeks. I cleaned them once and couldn't speak for 3. Empty seat, the longest ride alone. Empty seat, a leather-covered stone. I've turned the radio off, it knows too much, and the seatbelt hangs like something out of touch. The mirror on your side still tilted low, the angle that you set it months ago. I haven't moved it, haven't touched the dial. Your settings are my last remaining mile. I found your hair paperclip underneath the brake, a tiny little crescent, nothing great. But I put it on the dashboard like a crown. The queen is gone, but something's staying down. Empty seat, I drive to feel the mood. Empty seat, the loneliest of grooves. The road keeps going, but the seat stays bare, and every mile is heavier to wear. Empty seat, I buckle it sometimes, pretending you're beside me in the lines.
I closed the door so gently it didn't click. A whisper of a shut, a quiet trick.
I stood outside and waited for the sound,
But nothing came, just silence underground.
She closed it like she's putting down a child.
So careful, so precise,
So undefiled.
the door didn't know it was the final time.
A wooden witness to a wordless crime.
The door I closed is still between us now.
The door I closed, my only sacred vow.
I stood on this side,
You stood on that.
and somewhere in the wood our love went flat. I pressed my palm against it from the hall and felt your breathing through the kitchen wall.
You were so close, 1 inch of painted pine
Was all that stood between your world and mine.
I heard her standing there, but couldn't move
A man behind a door.
without a groove.
I pressed my forehead to the other side.
Two people leaning on the thing that died.
The door